Hey y'all, good morning. It is seed starting and seedling retransplanting kind of ish day. We had some seeds that we started in some tiny pots, and we need to move those into some slightly larger pots because it's not time yet for them to go in the ground. Also, look at this. Wood has arrived. I woke up this morning to find wood outside our front, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to get building, but today is not that day. We've got a really busy weekend. It's not realistic to think we're going to get to it. One major tip for new gardeners: be realistic about what you can get done. It can be exciting and we want to do so much so fast, but you know, for being honest, sometimes we try to cram too much into the day, especially if you have little kids like we do. The second you think you have a plan, no, someone's going to mess that plan. So plan for time and try not to squeeze things in that are just going to be too stressful if it doesn't happen. So although I'm super excited that this wood is here and I know it's something in my future, I know that there is no way I'm getting to that this weekend. So excited, but putting it aside. So today we're going to take our basic potting soil. It is nothing fancy. It is just regular potting soil, I think from Ace Hardware. We're going to take some of the seeds that we started several weeks back, and we're going to go ahead and put those into slightly larger pots. One way you can do that affordably is, come with me, we have some plants that we had purchased previously at like Lowe's or Home Depot, and what I do is I just always keep the pots that they came in, so I always have extra pots available. This guy was a plant that just did not survive. Some of this is stuff that didn't survive, but I have a ton of these. These are perfect size little pots. I think I even have the tray that they came in. So I'm going to use these to transport our seedlings, to move them up into a slightly bigger pot. One thing you want to do, make sure you clean them out. It's always a good idea if you're going to reuse a pot, clean it out thoroughly, maybe use some hydrogen peroxide or something to make sure you get it nice and tidy and clean, because you don't want to be spreading any potential diseases or ickiness to your new plants. So if you're going to reuse, it's a great thing to do, saves money, recycles and reuses things, and just make sure you clean it first. So I'm going to gather my supplies and then we'll get back together. Okay, so I've got containers, I've got the tray that they came in. I think I have actually enough containers to fill this tray. So what I'm going to do real quick is just pull these old tags off. I'm going to get these cleaned up and ready to receive our new soil. All right, we're back. We've got the tray rinsed out, the pots are rinsed out. We're just going to reach down with a little shovel into our bag of potting soil and put some into these pots. I think it's a really great idea to go ahead and water this dirt as soon as you get it into the pots. That way it's nice and moist for the new plants when they get in, and you don't end up behind the curveball on watering from the get-go. So it's always a good idea to water them in when you first put them in. And I just feel like if you go ahead and water that soil before you even put the seedling in, then you're one step ahead. So we had grown several different things that we're getting ready for our late summer garden. And some of them won't be ready to go in the ground for a few more weeks. Pepper plants tend to need a little bit more time before we stick those in the ground. So we've upgraded those to some bigger pots here. And now we're going to go ahead and take care of some of these others. I used these soft little peat pots for my seedlings this time because that's just what I had available. And I wasn't trying to spend a bunch of money on seed starting quite yet. So they worked pretty good. The only thing I will say is if you have to move them around much, like I tend to put mine in because we get a lot of hard rains here in Florida in the afternoon, so I try to protect them from that, but I do want them to be out and getting sun. So if you have to move them around a lot, sometimes the moisture, you know, they're designed to break down in the ground, so they will break down. So some of mine have torn, or frankly, maybe a child got to a couple of them. So just, you know, they're great and they're fine, and if that's what you've got, use it. You can use red Solo cups. You can use, I maybe wouldn't use little paper cups, even the wax coated ones, because I just don't think they could handle the moisture for a while, but red Solo cups would definitely handle the moisture, and you can get a big old pack of plastic cups at the Dollar Tree. So it doesn't have to be expensive at all. I will say I bought some seeds at the Dollar Tree, and I didn't have a super great germination rate with some of those. But, you know, I don't know, that might have been a fluke. So far I've been getting most of my seeds from Hoss Tools. That's Hoss Tools. I'll put a link for them here in our group also. I've been getting most of my stuff from them, and I also got some from Baker Creek, and just also if I was at Home Depot or somewhere and they had a burpee display or something that had something that looked lovely, then I might have got those. So start your seeds in whatever you've got. The important things is that you get them started. You're going to read your seed packet, and we'll talk more about that a different time, about how to read those seed packets and when to start your seeds. But for this purpose, we are almost done with getting the soil in here, and kids are playing in the water bucket behind me, and you will hear them often in our videos. I do not necessarily try to silence my children. I want them to be having fun, and they are around, and that is just what we will have. So, all right, got some soil in here, and putting the seedling in is just going to be as easy as freeing it from its little peat pot and dropping it in here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take care of this pepper plant, because I can see that there are actually 2 plants in here, and I want to go ahead and pinch off that bottom one. This guy's getting pretty crooked in here, so let me just go ahead and take care of that guy. Okay, so that little guy came out really easily. This soil is really moist, and I had used a seed starting soil, so it is super kind of fine, I guess, and so it crumbles really easily. So this guy popped out no problem. I'm just going to pinch off the little one that's in there that we don't need, and go ahead and just set this guy right in the soil. Now, he was leaning quite a bit. I'm assuming it was probably because he was trying to get to some light, so I just used my fingernail and pinched that guy off. I don't know about you, but I always feel bad when I kill a plant. I don't know, it's just some weird thing where I feel like that was a living thing and I just pinched it off. And don't get me wrong, I'll eat it, and I eat meat, but for some reason, just killing that cute little tiny life, maybe because they're just so cute. I don't know, seedlings are cute. I think they're cute. I think they're adorable when they come popping out and they have their little shell still trying to hang on from their seed. But I'm just going to pat him in there lightly, and he is all set to grow. There you go, little dude. Welcome to your new home. So I'm not going to make you sit here with me because I've got a lot to do, but this is it. Once your seeds pop up, they get their true leaves. Okay, when a seed comes through, you're going to see 2 little leaves, then they're going to start to get other leaves. So once they get those next sets of leaves, those are called their true leaves. Once those are on there, I think it's a fine time to move them if you're concerned about the size of the pot that they're in. So there we go. That's my job today, moving seedlings, and we'll catch up with you guys another time. This little tomato seedling is definitely ready to go. He's got roots coming out of this little tiny peat pot. He's got plenty of leaves on him. So we're gonna go ahead and get him in a new pot. Him and his multiple brothers and sisters. Now this is a situation where I must have accidentally planted 3 seeds in here when I put them in the pot, and now I have 3 plants. The reality is trying to pull these plants apart is probably not going to be possible. Maybe I could do it, but I run the risk of damaging their tender new roots if I try to separate them. So in this case, unfortunately, the 2 weakest plants are just going to have to get pinched off so that we end up with 1 plant in our pot. I just think it gives them the best chance to grow and keep healthy. So we'll go ahead and get these tomatoes in. So we're putting this tomato plant in, and I sunk him down deep in that pot, and I am going to fill in all the way up to those leaves and go ahead and get him in there nice and deep so that he has lots of room to grow strong roots and a strong stem and be hopefully a really vibrant and great producing tomato plant. All right, we are pretty much done. All these plants at least have been relocated to their larger pots. And hopefully in the next 2 weeks, we'll get the garden area ready. Some of these will be able to go in the ground then, like our squash and cucumber plants. Tomatoes I'm gonna leave for a little while longer since we buried this so deep. I'm gonna go ahead and let them get a little bigger.